いつがリヴァイか。
バカめ、俺は死んでもギブアップなどしねえ。
Had good in my heart, now it's darkness. I lost my life, made me heartless. I had to part with all of the people I walk with. Friends turn to enemies, now I'm a target. Out of my mind and think that I lost it. When Azuna died, man, I lost it. Everything changed when I lost him. I had to put my brother in a coffin. I ain't got a plan for the land, they don't see that. I want peace, but it seems they can't be that. They don't see what I see, I can't make them believe. Cause I gotta be a villain, I be that. Tried to kill me up, but death I cheat that. Never truly gone, just hit the reset. I just hit a level you ain't reached yet. Stand aside my way, you get deleted. Super yummy, put the run in the chest. All of this was just a part of the class. Victory when I saw it at fast. Now I got the whole world in my hands. Legendary, you didn't know? Yeah, no shit tomorrow, leave them froze. Yeah, would have thought they just seen a ghost. No, all you seeing is a ghost. Yeah, I do the most. If it justified to me, I let my heart get cold. Hey, this is the road that I chose. I'ma see it through no matter who here got a road.
Yo, it's me, What If Finisher here. Today, we're gonna be doing a new What If, and I know I haven't posted shit in 2 weeks, and I'm sorry about that. I had school I had to worry about for a little while, or for now, right now. I don't fucking know. I had school to worry about, and then my sister came over to visit. She's in the military, so she rarely gets to visit, and I had to spend time with her. So yeah, I mean, I really should have posted at least something, but I don't really have anything to post. Well, I did. Once I release this video, I'll probably post part 3 to What If Asta Had Sunshine. But yeah. But today, I came up with this idea last night, and I'm posting it the day after I thought of this idea. And I was gonna post. I already made a video, but I kept saying Naruto for some fucking reason. I don't know why, and I just didn't like the way I was doing that. So I'm gonna restart. I'm gonna make a new one. And yeah, so this is gonna be what if Asta had Soul Reaper powers, but more specifically a Zanpakuto. Hold on. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, so today we're doing what if Asta had a motherfucking Zanpakuto from Bleach. I don't really think I've seen a what if Asta had a Zanpakuto. I don't think I've seen it. But it's cool. But this is where I'm gonna be making OP what ifs. I love that shit. That shit's lit. Especially in this story because, royals and shit. Bro, I love it. It's so cool. And it's funny. It's funny as shit. In my opinion, at least. But, yeah. So, today, we're going to be doing What If Asta Had a Zanpakuto? Part fucking 1. So, everything goes the same. Asta, get dropped off by the guy who was from the Spade Kingdom, because they were both from the Spade Kingdom. And I was debating whether I should have had Asta's dad or one of his parents be a Soul Reaper. But I was like, nah. So, you're going to see what I did a little later. So, they get dropped off at the church. The father sees him, he takes him in because pretty much fucking has to. He takes him in, right? And sorry, I'm eating candy right now. He takes him in, right? And this what if though? Asta's gonna be a little different. He's still gonna have kind of like the same attitude, but not really. Let's see. So he takes him in, right? Asta. He still acts the same, he's moving around, he's crying low, he like, you know. Father goes to look at the name, he says, huh, And he notices the clothes on him, he's like, pretty expensive shit right here. And he notices the pendant, and he's like, huh, poor thing. Probably something that, poor kid, probably something that his parents left him. And then he's like, well, I guess I'll raise them both. And it goes to Asta, and he starts reading Asta, and I'm gonna give Asta a lot of fucking strength. Like, I mean, a lot. Like, fucking. What kind of how much strength should I give him? He could pretty much, okay. Let's say there's a fucking like a foot or 2 foot inch deep or thick wall, right? It's like 2 feet thick. He could punch through that shit. He could break it. No sweat. So that's no sweat. So he could probably break a wall that's like 10 feet thick. And he punches it so fucking hard that it all breaks. Like, it gets cracks from start to finish. Or from where he punches it to where that wall ends on the other side. And sorry. And he has a lot of strength, even as a baby, just like in canon. I don't know why I didn't do this for What If Asta Had Sunshine, but I'm probably gonna retcon that shit or whatever, remake it. But he goes over to read it. He's like, "You Asta," and then as soon as he finishes, he gets kicked in the fucking face. Like, he gets kicked hard. He gets sent through the wall. Like, that's how fucking hard he kicked him. And like, he kind of, I don't know how hard it is to fix a dislocated jaw, but he gets his jaw dislocated, and then he has to fix it, and he does. And he's like, yo, geez, what the fuck? How the hell are kids? Wait, how are you this strong, my guy? Like, how is a baby this strong? This is kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, he does that. He takes him in. He raises him. We're gonna do a little time skip to, let's say, I guess whatever age. I think it was like age 6 that got robbed, or when he was about to get robbed all the way. We cut there. You know how Asta's strong as shit. Like, he knows this from off the bat. Like, right now he hasn't changed at all, but he'll change throughout time, especially when he gets older. So he starts beating the shit out of the guy. No sweat. Like, even if he's is an adult, he starts beating the shit out of him. And he takes back the necklace, and the other guy starts running away. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, how the hell did I get beaten by a child? Because he's drunk and shit. And when he does this, he gives oh shit, my bad. He gives his pendant back, and still crying because he's like, I'm sorry that you had to waste your time on that. Like, and I was just like, bro, my guy, my homie, my boy since day one. I don't give a fuck if my boys. If you're in trouble, I'm gonna go save you. Or if I ever know you're in trouble, I'm gonna do my best to save you. Especially after I become Wizard King, I'm gonna be able to protect everybody. And he does this, and they do the little fist pump right there. And Yuno's like, no, I'm gonna become the Wizard King so I can protect you, so that you can stop protecting me. And um, Asta's not gonna be as short, definitely. But this is where, instead of kind of making fun of him, but like admiring him deep down, instead of doing that, he actually admires him, uh, straight out. Like he shows it. He's like, like you're always helping me. That's what I admire about you. Like you're my inspiration for getting stronger. And that's where it starts. Changes in this too. He's not as like, emotionless, I guess. But, he's still kind of emotionless. Like I think it's apathetic. But that's when someone doesn't feel emotion as much. Well, like he just has an apathetic face and voice in the way. He's still nonchalant about a lot of shit, but yeah. They do their fist pump. Back to the story, yeah. They do their fist pump, right? And then they promise each other that one of them will become the Wizard King. And they do that, right? And now we time skip like 3, 4 months. No, we time skip 4 months later. Um, and in this, Asta doesn't like love Sister Lily. Since Asta's smarter in this, he knows. Like he at first he did, but he shrugs it off later. He's like, nah, that's not how it is. That ain't the way. That ain't the move. Never will ever be the move. Cause she's a nun and shit. Instead, he starts looking at towards her as a mother figure, like as a mother. Cause she's always helping everyone, and she kind of acts like a mother towards them. And so does he does look at the father as like a father figure and shit. And he hangs out with all the kids. In this he spends probably like I don't know 80% of his day. Like he's at the church, but he spends most of his day in the forest. And since he does, he gets strong, like really fucking strong. Like he gets strong, like strong. And one day, like 4 months later, right? He sees someone, and he goes to check it out, right? And it's a Soul Reaper fighting a Hollow. And sorry about that. He sees a Soul Reaper fighting a Hollow, and he's like, "What the fuck is this? What is that monster? And who is he?" And the Soul Reaper notices, like, cause Asta says it out loud, and he says, "No, kid, get away!" But in his head, he's like, "How the fuck can he see? Like, how the hell can he see me?" And then Asta's just like, "Well, you look like you're in danger, Mister. Um, I'll go try to get some help." And the guy's like, "No, run!" And the Hollow looks at the kid, right? Looks at Asta, and he's like, and he starts screaming, like a Hollow. And he goes towards Asta, and the Soul Reaper sees this, and he's like, he goes to protect Asta, like he jumps in front of him and takes the attack, right? And Asta, and the guy gets hit by the Hollow. He gets sent towards a tree, and Asta goes to help him. And let's say that the Hollow had to, recover a little, because the Soul Reaper hit him. The Soul Reaper's like, I hate to do this to you, kid, but you're gonna have to take on my power as a Soul Reaper. And Asta's like, a Soul Reaper? What's a Soul Reaper? And he's like, I have no time to explain that now. Here, take my power. And he takes his power and he gets his Bankai. And he gets way smarter. Like he gets strategically smarter, right? And he's strong, and he knows it too, so he's strong. So, and since he's already smart too, he uses that to his advantage. But since he doesn't know how to fight a hollow, it takes him like an hour to kill the hollow finally. And the Soul Reaper is seeing this, and he's kind of in amazement, like, well, no, it takes him like, I'll say it takes him like 15, 20 minutes, 25 max. And you know, the Soul Reaper, who I'm not gonna name at all, he sees this and he's in amazement. He's like, because Asta, without him knowing a lot, since he's not used to to spiritual pressure, he thinks it's a magic. And he's like, wow, I have a lot of magic. And the guy's like, no, that's not magic. In his head, right? He doesn't say anything out loud. He says, no, that isn't magic. That's spiritual pressure. And his is off the charts. And Asta's spiritual pressure, I'll say it's like fucking like what, four squad 13 captains, like 4 together at his age, which he's 6 years old. And you know, the guy is like, he can barely move. Like he's like, oh, what the fuck? Like like he's breathing heavily, and like he's not even trying to move because he knows that if he tries to move, it'll hurt. Because if you try to force yourself to move in spiritual pressure that's too strong for you, you get hurt. And Asta, with his Zanpakuto, he finally slays the hollow. And I think the way you kill it is if you hit it by the head. I haven't watched Bleach in a minute, and I'm not really caught up since I'm only in the Visored arc or whatever the fuck. Yeah, he does that. He kills the hollow. He goes up to the man. He's like, hey, mister, are you alright? And the guy's like, and the Soul Reaper's like, yeah. Well, fuck, I am gonna have to give him a name. Fuck, I'm gonna say... Fuck, hold on, let me come up with a name for him. Alright, I kinda came up with a name. I'm gonna just say he goes by the nickname of fucking, I don't know, Spade. He's like, hey kid, you can call me Spade. And he's like, also, can you like stop releasing a lot of spiritual pressure? Because I'm kind of over here getting fucked over. Okay, please. And Asta's is like, huh? What's spiritual pressure? I thought this was magic. And the guy's like, no. From what I've seen, I'm not from this world. I don't know how I got here. Yeah, I got here by accident. And he's like, from another world? That's awesome? Because he doesn't really know what to think of it. And the guy's like, yeah, but now I gave you my powers. So you are now technically a Soul Reaper. And, he does that shit. And he's like, and he tells Asta, like, how to, control his spiritual pressure and not release it. And, he does. And I'm going to say that Asta can use his Soul Reaper powers without going into, his um his spiritual body or whatever, cause plot convenience and cause I'm not trying to do that shit. That's too much extra work. But yeah, he's able to do that shit. He's able to do that. So, and he's like, why do I have this sword? And he starts swinging it around, right? He's like, oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you. That's your Zanpakuto. And he's like, a Zanpakuto? What's a Zanpakuto? And he explains it. I ain't trying to explain that shit because I don't even know as much. All I know is that it has a Shikai, a Bankai, and that's it. And it has a name. Shit like that. And I think it was like a manifestation of your soul or some shit. I don't know. But he explains it. Fuck, I almost said Naruto right there, bruh. Asta gets it, and he's like, oh, okay. Since Asta's smarter than this hoe. He's like, well, is it just a normal sword and shit? He's like, no. There are two different forms of your Zanpakuto. It's normal, or it's Shikai, and then it's no, yeah, it's Shikai form, and it's a Bankai. And he's like, so does it change? And he's like, some people's Bankais do morph the way their sword looks, and I'm gonna just say his doesn't. It stays the same. And he's like, but first you have to get its name to be able to, use its power. And he's like, name? How do I figure it out? And he explains how to get its name. And then he's like, well, now that you know how, to get its name, I'm going to train you. And we're going to figure out how to use your, Zanpakuto. And Asta knows how to, control the spiritual pressure. And I'm going to say that other people can feel it, but he can control it so well, he leaks none. He's like a prodigy. And after like 6 months, he's like, hey, Spade, I finally figured out my Zanpakuto's name. And he's like, oh, really, kid? Wow, I really want to see what it is, because you have a lot of strength, but you still don't know how to use it. And he's like, and he's like, oh, and Spade's like, so what's the name? And Asta's like, Chokasuigets, Aizen Zanpakuto. And Spade's like, wait, what, what, what's the name? And Asta's like, Chokasuigets. And he's like, what the fuck? How the hell did he get that in his head? And he's like, amazing. And I'm gonna just say Aizen somehow died. Or whatever. No, I'm gonna just say he gets it. Just cause. I'm gonna try to make it as simple as this shit for me. Since I don't know how all that shit works. But, I'm like, why are you acting like this? Like, do you know what it is? And he's like, yeah. Someone in my world used to have the same Zanpakuto. His name was Sosuke Aizen. Or whatever the fuck. Or Aizen Sosuke, I don't know, whatever. He was one of the captains of the a former captain of the Gote 13. But a very evil man. We finally killed him though, and shit. And he's like, your sword is probably one of the greatest swords in the history of anyone who ever wielded a Zanpakuto. And he's like, wait, what? Really? And yeah, so he's like, yes, you have a Shikai, or whatever the first level of it is. Because I think it's a Shikai and then Bankai. Your Shikai is complete hypnosis, or perfect hypnosis, or whatever. It affects all five senses, making it believe, or making it seem that, whatever's happening is actually reality. And there are a lot of things you can do with complete hypnosis. And I don't think Aizen had a Bankai, but I'm gonna give Asta a Bankai because I fucking said so. And because, it's lit. And he gets a Bankai, but later on, right? And he's like, wait, complete hypnosis? Is that good? And the guy, and Spade's like, yes, very good, actually. You can completely control your enemy, almost. You can make it seem that they killed you, but in reality they didn't. But I am warning you, don't show this power unless necessary. So try not to use it. And he also explains like how he has to do it. He's like, and Asta's like, and he doesn't know, Asta doesn't know how to use it fully. And he's like, also, the only way that you can get people under your complete hypnosis is if they see you unleash your Shikai and you go like shatter Kyoka Suigetsu, and then they're under your complete hypnosis. You can control when they see reality, and then boom. And he's like, wow, thank you, mister. Thank you, Spade. And Spade's like, no problem, kid. In Spade's head though, he's like, I don't know if I should kill him. What if he turns into another Aizen? No, he's just a kid. Even if I were to kill him, killing a kid never knowing his future is the worst thing I could possibly do right now. And, he's thinking this, and then he's like, and then Asta's just like, well, can I train with it? And he's like, yeah. And so they train since Asta was like 6. They progress. No one knows. He just has a sword, right? He says, yeah, I found this sword and I want to keep it. And this is what Kyoka Suigetsu looks like, because I forgot to fucking show it. I think this is what it looks like. Yeah, this bitch right here. And, no one knows about it. He just says it's like a good luck charm, I guess. And, they're all like, okay. And they all know that he doesn't have any magic. And that is where it's gonna get lit. So after a couple of years, he masters his Shikai. Like, he fucking masters it. And he unlocks his Bankai at the age of 13. And it takes him like a year and a half to master it. And I don't know what the fuck to call his Bankai, because I think each Bankai has a name. I'm gonna just call it reality. Whatever the fuck his ability is, reality. So if he has someone under complete hypnosis, whatever he wants them to see, or whatever he wants himself to see, since I think he can put it on himself, he can turn it into reality. No ifs, whats, buts, or thens. But he can only use it one time a day. So it's, well, no, because one time a day is kind of OP. Even though I'm already making him OP as shit. Fuck. Like one time a week, I guess. No, let's say one time a day. I'm gonna have to work around those plot holes that I kind of fucked up for myself in the future, but you know, fuck it. Right now we're in the present. So he gets his ability. I'm gonna call it reality, and he figures it out. He's like, well, I can turn it into turn whatever I want to see, whatever I make someone else see, into reality. And let's say he was like, he made himself hypnotized to see, feel, touch, like, you know, smell a burger, right? Let's say that, right? Or like food. Or like he has food across the table. He could say reality or bonkai. And it turns into reality. Like it literally turns into reality. So it wasn't there at first, but now it is. And it's like if it was there to begin with. So that's lit. Um, you know, practices with Asta for like the next couple of years. The Soul Reaper, Spade, he died. He died like a year or two later. Or no, let's say he went back somehow to the Soul Society. And that's gonna be the last appearance of a fucking Soul Reaper. So, Asta and train. They're pretty good. Always beats the shit out of him. And he doesn't even have like Kyoka, so he gets, under. He doesn't have him, or he doesn't use Kyoka, so he gets to make him fall under complete hypnosis or perfect hypnosis. So he beats him fair and square, and he's pretty fucking strong. Like he's really fucking strong. Oops, we didn't need to see that. He's really fucking strong, and yeah. And like I said, he his mentality changes a little. Like he actually outright respects and admires Asta. But Asta in this story, he's a little cold. So he's a little bit ruthless. He doesn't care if he kills. He'll kill if he has to achieve his goal. He doesn't care what he has to do to achieve his goal. Unless it's like killing or something, which he thinks about doing sometimes. But he doesn't, because he's like, no, because that's my brother. Yeah, and shit like that. And he has multiple like reasons for becoming Wizard King, but he usually only says two of them. He has three, I think, from what I know of in the anime, but I added one more. He wants to uh, deconstruct the social ladder of peasants, commoners, royals, and nobility. And he also wants people to fear him and respect him. He wants people to fear him for the one reason, to know that he is the strongest wherever he goes. But he also wants to respect, because he is the Wizard King and he is the one who is going to protect everyone and any and everyone. So that's what his mentality is. And it's the day of the Grimoire acceptance ceremony. They go, And everything goes pretty much the same. You know, they go in, nobles and fucking, I think some royals are there. They're like filthy commoners. They shouldn't even be standing in the same room. And Asta and are kind of like, yo, bitch, shut the fuck up before I slice your shit off. Like, come on now. Fuck out my face. Fuck you think this is 2012? Nah. Or like fucking, what do you think this is? The fucking 19 or whatever the fuck. Whenever social class was really big. In our world, at least. But they don't say it's out loud. They just keep walking, ignoring everything. Everything goes, the old man explained how the grimoires work, yada yada yada. Gets his 4-leaf. And he's as strong. Like, okay, let's say he practices. Alright, never mind, I'll talk about that later. He gets his 4-leaf. And everyone's like in amazement and in fucking anger. And, wrath. Because they all want to kill him. They want to kill him just because he's a commoner with a 4-leaf. Especially the nobles and royals. And they're like, how did this filthy commoner get a 4-leaf? I'm nobility or whatever the fuck. I'm royalty. I should have been getting a 4-leaf instead of this filthy commoner. And shit, my bad. And they keep saying shit. And he really doesn't mind. He's like, I don't give a fuck. You're just too shit to get a 4-leaf. And they're all looking at Asta, like the person right next to him. And Asta is like an inch taller than And he's buff as shit. He is the strongest person in the kingdom. Physically. And, everyone sees him and he's like, he's getting no grimoire. Like, they start laughing like, at least this commoner knows his place, even though he might not want to accept it. And while this is going on, the anti-magic devil is like, who is this? He seems like a perfect candidate to be the wielder of my anti-magic. He has no magic, just like me, an outcast. Seems like we're more alike than you think. And he's like, I might as well go to him now rather than later. And then as everyone's, laughing at him, they start hearing a boom, 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 and a final boom with a crash and a thud of the wall breaking. And they see a grimoire flying straight towards Asta. And when Asta sees this, he's like, what the fuck is this? Is this my grimoire? I mean, I don't really care to have a grimoire. I already have enough. I already have enough power to slaughter everyone in this entire kingdom. So why would I want a grimoire? In his head, right? And he's like, fine, I'll take this one then. And as soon as he touches the grimoire, something happens. The grimoire gets enveloped in a bright white light. And when it dies down, instead of the book being all grimy and dirty and everything, like where you can barely see the leaves, right? It turns into a pure white with like a pure black. And that's what happens. all like the dirt, darkness, and all everything that made the book very hard to see, making it look old. It all gets contrapted into the five leaf, so it's just pure black. Everything else is white, pure white. And the anti-magic devil notices, and he's like, What did he just do? It interesting. He seems even more powerful than I could even imagine." And us is just like, my spiritual, my spiritual energy or whatever the fuck must have intervened with the book. And I'm gonna say later on he does something with Kyoka Suigetsu, but I'm not gonna say it now. And he takes it, right? And everyone sees a five leaf and they're like, Nani? What? The fuck is a five leaf? Because no one really knows what a five leaf is. I think the only person that really does know are the royals, barely. But in this story, I'm going to say that none of the royals know what a five leaf is. But the only one who does is the Wizard King. And, they're all like, wow, like, why does he have a five leaf? That's something that no one has ever gotten before. Because no one really has. Yeah, he gets a five leaf. Pure white, with the only thing that's being black is the clover. The five leaf clover. The book that holds, or the grimoire that holds the anti-magic devil. And he notices that there's another spirit or another person or creature in there, but he doesn't pay any attention to it. And the anti-magic devil notices that he can sense him too. And he's like, you are very interesting, boy. And yeah, so Asta walks out. He's like, I don't give a shit about the rest of this shit anyways. He starts walking, still gets attacked by the bandits, or the nobles, my bad. And fuck, I'm tired as shit. What time is it, dude? Fucking 7:50. How the fuck am I tired? Okay, so yeah, he still gets attacked by the nobles. Fuck. He gets attacked by the nobles. He takes them out swiftly because he's fucking way stronger than he is in canon at this point. And the chain mage gets, I think his name was like Revchi or whatever the fuck. I don't care about his name. The chain mage shows up. Damn, I just choked on my candy. Sheesh. Alright. Yeah. And Austin notices this. He can sense mana, but it feels weird to him because he has spiritual pressure and shit like that. And Reishi, whatever the fuck they use as their power. And yeah, so he can sense mana. And he's like, he senses that something's wrong, and he goes back, and he sees who's beaten and battered, tied up in chains, with the guy saying, "I'm gonna sell your four-leaf on the black market. You're lucky I'm letting you get off alive." He starts laughing and shit, and then Asta appears behind him, and he's like, "Huh? Who are you? And why are you attacking my brother?" And just like somehow off instinct, he opens his grimoire, takes it out, and he's like, get ready to fight. And when Revchi tries to attack him, his chains don't work on him at all. His spiritual pressure can somewhat nullify magic, including with the anti-magic. It nullifies it, at least for him. He's like, what is this? Well, what are you? What are you doing to my magic? And Asta's just like, I don't even know myself, but it seems like this is gonna be some fun. And I'll get back to you, whatever you did with my brother, you bastard. And, the chain mage is like, no, get away from me. And he sees the devil, or like the anti-magic, demon behind Asta. And he's like, what are you, a devil? And Asta's just like, I might even, yeah, I might be a devil. But what is it to you when you're already dead? And he pulls a sword up, and he like swings it with ease, cutting the guy's head off, killing him instantly. I'm also gonna say, I forgot to mention this earlier, he has proper swordsmanship, because the guy taught him how to use his sword properly. So he hasn't used his Shikai on anyone besides the Soul Reaper. And he does this. He kills this chain mage, and Juno's like, you just killed a man, my guy. Bro, what the fuck? Like, and Asta's like, be quiet and be grateful that I saved you, brother. And Yuno's like, okay, yeah, because he knows not to fuck with him. Because each time he used to fight against Asta, Asta would wipe the floor with his ass. And yeah, and they're like, get up and regain your posture, because this is the day where me and you, we make that promise that we did long ago, years ago. It's either me or you. One of us is going to become the Wizard King, and I'm going to be the one to do it, and I'll be the one that everyone respects, and I will be the one who protects everyone and eliminate this class system. And Yuno's like, no, I will be the one who does that. Because, he's more open with Asta, but everyone else, he's kind of like, gives the cold shoulder. And Asta's just like, that's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear, bro. And they both make their fist pump and shit, and, they go back. And they get, like, I think it was like 10 months to train. Asta finally figures out what his thing is, since he's way smarter. He's like Aizen smart, Madara smart, shit like that. Fucking maybe L and Light smart, which I don't know. Yeah, he's like really smart, and he's like, I must possess some sort of magic nullifying grimoire. I'll just call it anti-magic to be blight, or to make it simple. And he tells us, this, and he's like, anti-magic. Oh, so that's why you were able to cut through my spell so easily. It was not just with your strength alone. And he's like, yeah, it must be anti-magic. But I also sense another presence in my grimoire. I don't know what it is yet, but I'll figure it out someday. And after 10 months, Yuno's pretty strong. He's really strong. He's like, mm, I'ma say he's as strong as Dungeon Arc, you know? He's like 2 times as strong as that. But he still gets his ass whooped by the, you know. But, we do that. They travel towards, um, the capital. And since, you know, Asta has his Bankai, he makes himself, he hypnotizes himself to make it seem like he's flying. And then he uses his Bankai and it becomes reality. So he can just fly. He doesn't want magic because he already says, huh, might as well not put more frosting on the cake. And he starts laughing to himself. And he's like, and no one knows about this. So he's like, yeah. And the guy taught him all like those like Hako 36, like, you know, the ones with the numbers and shit. He taught him that, but Asta doesn't really use it. And yeah. So they travel, they fly. They see bandits who are attacking them. And Asta just pretty much flash steps and kills them all. And Yuno's just like, since he already knows that Asta doesn't have a problem with killing, he's like, did you really have to kill them? Like, and Asta's just like, no, but I felt like it, so deal with it. And they get there pretty early, you know, just like, they get there a couple of days later, or a couple of days earlier instead. So they come in to the capital. You know, they're all in Yunos and Asta are kind of in awe because it's like really nice in there and they see everything. And you know, the people are staring at them thinking that they're like nobility or some shit. And nah, they're just commoners. But they really think it and shit. And yeah, they're walking through. They see the Wizard King castle. The Wizard King's castle. And you know, it's like, hey, Asta, look, that's gonna be my castle one day, and I'm gonna let you live there. Maybe I might let you live there. And you know, it's like, and Asta's like, huh, do you really think that you can beat me, the Wizard King? No, I will be the one who becomes Wizard King. And once I do, I will let everyone from the church come and visit here and live here if they want, and I will let you live here too and become my right hand man. And you know, they both start laughing and they have their bit of rivalry. And even though, you know, Asta can wipe the floor with my boy, you know. But yeah. Yeah. After a couple of days, um, you know, after like 2 or 3 days, the exams start. Um, you know, they go to register their shit. The girls thinking that they're like nobility and shit when they really aren't. And you know, when they go to register their grimoires, when they start registering their grimoires, sorry about that. When they register their grimoires, holy shit, I said that 3 times. The guy's like, wow, like, that's amazing. You have a 4-leaf. That's incredibly rare. I never thought I would ever see the light of day. or I never thought I would be able to see a 4-leaf in real life, or throughout my life, or whatever the fuck, or in my life. Shit, gosh, I cannot fucking speak. And he's like, yeah, what village are you from? And he's like, Hodge village. And in his head, he's like, he's a commoner? How? How is he? Sorry about that. Yeah, like, how is he a commoner with the 4-leaf? You know, it should be, like, kind of impossible. I go cap. And then he's like, well, you can go right in. And, you know, knows. Oh, well, no, I'm getting ahead. I need to stop doing this shit. Asta goes up. Asta goes up, and he gives it, and he shows him his grimoire, and it's pure white with a black 5-leaf in the middle. And he's like, huh? What is a 5-leaf? I've never seen a 5-leaf in my life. And I don't know if they had an encounter with the Wizard King before the festival. I'm gonna just say they didn't. And he's like, what is a 5-leaf? And Asta's just like, don't worry about it. Now, can I go in or not? Can I go in or not? And the knights, the person who's registering them, he's like, oh yes, you can go right in. And you know how Asta's pretty ripped. He's 5, I think 5'7" I made him, because I think it's like 5'5". He's an inch taller than him, so he's pretty tall. And he's the strongest person in the Clover Kingdom. And he walks in, and the birds still go towards him. He notices Nero, but he thinks nothing of it. He's like, huh, the same thing with her, huh? Or with that bird. Just like my book. I'll have to keep this in the back of my mind later. And all the birds are flocking towards him. And they all start like they all start laughing out loud. And Asta having none of this shit, since he wants people to fear him, and this is a good moment. He releases like 10% of his spiritual pressure, and that's enough to make them feel it and get down. The captains notice this, all of them, and they're like, wow, this person, whoever that kid is, whoever he is, must have a lot of magic. And everyone just shuts up, since they're like, can you stop? Please stop. I can barely stand. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. And he's like, fine. And he puts it all back in. And the birds are scared of this, and instead of pecking him, they just follow him on the ground waddling. Except Nero, who lands on Asta's head, and Asta's like, fine, I'll let you lay on my head. He runs into Yami. Yami, like, you bitch. You almost made me drop my cigarette. Do you want to die today? Is that your wish? And he puts his hand on Asta's head, and Asta's just like, is this all you have, old man? Is this all you have? Is this all the strength that you have? And he just grabs Yami's hand, and he takes it off his head. And Yami's just like completely surprised. And as soon as he's about to do some shit, the exams start. And so the first one was, I think, flight. The second was creation. The third was accuracy with long range. And then the fourth and final test was battle. And so what Asta did was, for the flight, since he really didn't go fuck and he really did want to kind of show up, he 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 was like he was given a broom and by Captain Vengeance, and Asta is just looking at it, and the captains are like they all like look at him and they're like, so this kid had that magical power and he can't control it. Nozel over here with the stick up his ass again. He's like, he has all that magic power and he's just like Noel, but for him it's even a little bit more fitting since he is a commoner. But still, he shouldn't even have that much magical power. And then, as soon as they, all finish their thoughts inside their heads, Asta throws it away. Everyone looking at him like, is he giving up? Like, and then, over here flying, he's like, wow, you really gonna show me up like that? Like, come on, bruh. And Asta just starts flying. Flying, like, fast. And everyone's like, what the fuck? He can fly, my guy? And the captain, especially Nozel, is like, he can fly? How is this possible? Is he using some sort of magic? And they, that finished. And Asta and get perfect scores. With Asta getting a little bit of a better perfect score. Yes, he gets more points since, he flew without a broom. And dang, I'm out of water. And he does that. And for the second test, the creation test, I'm gonna say he just creates something with one of the powers, like the Hako or Haki or whatever the fuck. And he does that. He creates something with it. Or I'm gonna say he uses Reishi and creates something. Since Reishi is something that since Reishi is pretty much the energy around you, I guess. He creates something out of it, so he gets pretty good remarks. For long range, he uses one of the abilities again, this time to strike it. And then, followed by that, he throws his sword in it. And he gets it, and then he gets perfect scores on all three of them, with extra points on the flight. And this is where we go to the battle. And the Seke, or the Buha guy, he doesn't want to fuck with Asta. Like, he's like, nah. I'm trying to get actually picked by a squad. I ain't trying to get humiliated. And Vengeance is like, you can pick anyone in this arena, because that's just going to be something I do. And he's like, you can pick anyone in this arena to fight. And, everyone picks spectators, even, but Asta hears his words. And he's like, anyone in this arena, huh? This'll be fun. And, Yuno's fight still goes the same. He beats the shit out of that Noble. But when it's Asta's turn, he's like, so do you have a partner? And then Asta's like, no, but I will have one soon. Captain of the Golden Dawns, you said that we could choose anyone in this stadium, correct? And Vengeance would nod his head. He's like, yes, I did say that. And Asta was like, perfect. And I'm going to say he fights Captain Jack, because this is a very good fight since he's fighting with swords. Yami, who didn't notice this at first, sees his sword, and he's like, that looks like a katana. Is this kid also from, Japan? There's another water bottle here, bet. And he says, questions for later. And Asta's just like, Captain of the green praying mantises, I choose you as my opponent. And Captain Jack, or whatever, Jack the Ripper, he's like, he does his little kick, kick, kick. You really think you could defeat me? And everyone in the room is like, are you a fool? You're a commoner. Know your place. Even us nobles would never dare to disrespect a captain like that. And then Asta, who's literally getting a little tick, he was getting ticked off. He releases like 25% of his spiritual pressure, and everyone there, seeming like they forgot, fucking just falls down into the ground with who just falls on his knees, and he's like, what the fuck? Like, how does he have this much pressure? Everyone thinking that it's magic, but then they know, like, wait, he doesn't have magic. What is he doing? Everyone thinking it, right? The captains over here, they're like, they feel it, and they're like they can barely move, but they don't like fall to their knees and shit or anything. They're just like, they can move barely though. It's like they had weights on. Excuse me. And Captain's just like, huh. Captain Jack is like, huh. I retract my statement. You might be a worthy opponent after all. And then Asta's just like, perfect. And in his head, he starts laughing. Maniacally, kind of. He's like, you fools. You fell right into my trap. And as Captain Jack gets down there, he says, now, if everyone would care to look at me and my sword, as I'm going to show you something, as I want to show you how to wield a katana. And everyone's like, they all look at him, right? And no one outside, the Wizard King kind of feels his spiritual pressure, but he thinks nothing of it. And Asta just says, shatter, Kyoka Suigetsu. And he shatters it, and now everyone is under his hypnosis. And this is the perfect setup for another episode. But I'm not ending it right here. He shatters it, everyone's under his complete hypnosis, right? And to him, he lets everyone see reality. He doesn't use his Bankai. He just thrashes Captain Jack. Like, he flash steps, slicing him with an X on his body, and Captain Jack barely dodges, but he still gets kind of cut. And he's like, huh, you're pretty quick, kid. And Asta's just like, huh, I should have used a little bit more speed and a little more power. Something to take into consideration. And Captain Jack's like, you pest. Are you trying to insult me? And then Asta's just like, no, but I'm trying to show you the difference in our power. And then he flash steps again, but this time faster. And he just yeesh in the exact same spot with the exact same slashes, cuts Captain Jack deep, and he knocks him. He beats him, and everyone's like, uh, 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 what the fuck just happened, my guy? And like, they're all like, don't fuck with him, don't fuck with him, don't fuck with him, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything. One noble, and since Asta has no problem killing, he's like, and since he's like, one noble starts saying something, and he looks up to the captains, and he says, "Do you mind if I kill?" And they're like, "Uh, no, no." And let's say Asta didn't even use he used 15% of, or 10% of his power just to defeat Captain Jack. He could have who he could have killed easily. And back to what I was saying. They're hesitant to say no, and they do. And then the noble who says he starts talking shit after they say no. He's like, "Wow, you must have used some cheap illusion or something." And Asta's just like, "You fool, you'll die for that." And he flash steps behind the guy, and he gets his katana on his neck, and he puts his hand on his mouth, and then he whispers, he talks into his ear. "Now, die." And then he cuts the guy's throat, and the guy dies. Everyone in horror, as he just killed someone like it was nothing. But the captains are kind of like, because they don't really give a shit. Because the noble shouldn't have said anything when they show, even Ozell and the Golden Dawn's captain are like, yeah, he really shouldn't have said anything. He just defeated a captain, my guy. You're fucking stupid. And, everyone else is in horror, like, yo, you just killed a guy, especially a noble, you're gonna get... He's like, "Be quiet if any of you say anything." No. And then he uses his Kyokasuigets. No, he doesn't use it. He's like, "No. If any of you say anything, I'll find you and I'll come kill you myself. But I'll make it even more gruesome than what I just did now." Ugh. I didn't even get to stretch. That was just a warm-up, not even a warm-up actually. And he walks back, puts back Kyokasuigets into its sheath, and he walks back. Everyone is in fear of him. They don't want to mess with him. Who's also like, yo, he just killed a guy for saying some random ass
Shit, my video cut off. My phone turned off. My dumbass forgot to click something.
But yeah, it's like, wow, he just killed a guy for saying some random ass shit, Yeah, you know. You go back, everyone's scared of Asta,
Nah, we're not saying anything right now. If he really says what he did, and he just did kill a guy, I'm not going to say shit. I don't want to die. I don't think anyone else wants to die. And the captains are
like, yeah, that guy really shouldn't have said anything. He just saw him defeat a captain. And it seems like this kid has no mercy once he gets pissed off. Excuse me. It seems like this kid has no mercy. And so, yeah. I think fuck. I'm kind of pissed off right now because my phone turned off and it stopped recording. And I was talking. And now I'm pretty pissed off because of that. Oh, okay. They go to the selections. He chooses the Golden Dawn because, yeah. And it's Asta's turn. And then they're all like, And then they're like, kid, or Fuegoleon is like, uh, you, I do not sense any magic from you. What did you use? And he's like, and then he's like, I'm not an obligation to tell you that. I mean that in no disrespect. But why would I reveal my tricks when I have no reason to? And you know, Fuegoleon is like, yo, bitch, the fuck did he just say to me? Does he know who I am? Like, what? Come on now. And Osh is just like this. I'll tell you one thing though. I, Asta, will become the Wizard King. So you better start learning my name and putting respect and fear in my name. Respect me, but also fear me. And everyone's like, yo, did he just really say that in front of all the captains? And Fuegoleon's like, so you want to become the Wizard King? Is that all you want? For people to fear you and respect you? How pitiful. Or how childish, you know? Or fuck. And Asta's just like, there's also another thing. I want to destroy this social hierarchy of commoners, peasants, to nobility and royalty. I hate that social class. So I'm gonna break it with my own two hands and make a new world where everyone can live in equality without being judged by how rich, poor, or whatever kind of blood they have into them. I will destroy that with my own hands. Shit like that. I don't know if I made him shatter Kyoka Suigetsu. I'm gonna say he did, and if he did, well, he already did it. So everyone's in his hypnosis. He's just letting them see reality. And so, some of them, I'm kind of thinking like, low key, motherfucker kind of strong. I ain't gonna cap. He did take out the captain, so everyone raises their hands. Yami, as they raise their hands, it's like, hey kid, why do you have that kind of sword? And Asta's just like, oh, it came with the power. But I am at no obligation unless I choose you as my captain to explain myself. Now, if you would be kind enough to sit back down, I would really appreciate that. Yami kind of pissed off, but he was like, fine. I'll have to make you choose me then. And everyone's like, yo, they're like all raise their hands with Vengeance thinking, should I put down my hand? He's a commoner and he's not an elf reincarnation, but he did take out a captain. Nozel thinking, this commoner really thinks he could destroy the hierarchy and say that he could become Wizard King. Huh, what a laughable statement. While Fuegoleon over here is like, I like this kid. I'm about to tell him something real quick. He's like, hey kid, would you mind joining my family and hold the name of, I forgot what the family's last name was, but yeah, he's like, would you mind, like, putting name, uh, you know, joining my family and shit. And Asta's just like, as of this moment, that is none of my concern. But if the offer is still up in the future, I will rethink about that offer. And Fuegoleon is like, he's like, wow. But then he also understands, and he's like, oh, okay, I understand. But the offer still stands if you ever decide to take it up. And he's like, okay, thank you for understanding. And as everyone's waiting for him to pick a squad, he is about to say something. And this is where the fuck I'm gonna end it off, bitch, because I said so. I don't really know. I'm still kind of pissed off that my fucking shit stopped recording. So, I wasted a lot of time there. But it's lit. I hope you liked it and enjoyed. And if you did enjoy it, please leave a like. Please comment. If you don't, it's fine. But, tell me what I need to improve on. Because I can seriously tell that I need to improve on something. I just really can't put my tongue on it. But if you really do have anything that I need to improve on, please comment it. And, yeah, hope you like it. It's What If Finish over here. I'm gonna see y'all beautiful bastards tomorrow, I think. I don't fucking know. I'm probably gonna upload another video. Part 3 of What If Asta had sunshine. So, yeah, see y'all tomorrow maybe. I don't know. Bye.